In light of recent events, I figured I would talk about this problem. And I know I probably should be wary about how many high school relationship-related rant videos I'm making in a row, but at this point I really don't care. I want to talk about this, so I'm going to talk about it. So, I don't exactly know what I'm going to title this video, but the topic of it is high school relationships again, but a different aspect of them. And the last one I talked about kind of getting into a relationship, the more attraction part of it. Now we're going to talk about what happens after the relationship, more so about breakups, because breakups are something that happen all the time. When you get into a relationship, sometimes it doesn't always work out, and that's okay. And then people break up, and that's okay. But there seems to be a good amount of people that that seem to feel like a breakup is a death sentence. I stuttered. Yes. I would like to point out that I'm not going to be. I don't want anyone to think that they're being targeted by this video. If you were taken aback by a breakup, or if you went through a bad breakup recently, I'm not necessarily talking about you, okay? Because I don't know how you're handling it. I'm only talking about people that I know are people that can't handle them or don't know how to handle them. I'm doing my best to tell you, to give my advice on how to get through them. So I understand breakups can be one of the hardest things to go through, especially when you were in a really nice relationship, you had a lot going for you, there was so much happiness going, but it just ends. And you know what? It ends for a reason. There's never a relationship that just ends for no reason, unless you have two people that are just, or one person that's just completely just gets over the person, and there's really no explanation for that. Most of the time, if a relationship is going well and a breakup happens, it happens because there's some sort of dysfunction, or I don't know if that's a word. Dysfunction, that's a word. Dysfunction in the relationship. So really, breakups are a good thing if you think about it, because it's really just better to break up and end a relationship than it would be to just keep on going with the relationship and it's just getting worse and worse. But you don't break up because you don't have the guts to. Okay? And like I said earlier, breakups are not a death sentence. You know why? Because the person that you were dating that you broke up with is not the only person out there. There are tons of people. If anything, it's just a setback, or not really a setback. It's actually, I wouldn't even call it I would call it not a setback at all. I would call it more a push forward, really, because all a breakup is doing is pushing you forward to meet the next person in your life that you will have a relationship with. And you know what? Maybe it doesn't work out in that one either, or maybe it does. You'll never know unless you move on. And that's probably the biggest point I'm going to try to make in this video, is that after you break up with someone, the best thing you can do for yourself is move on. Don't hold feelings for the person that you broke up with, because chances are, more often than not, you're not going to get back together with them, unless it was just a misunderstanding or there was some other reason. In my opinion, a breakup is better and more. It's hard. It's really hard. I don't think it's healthy to hold on to relationships. Some people, it's different for different people. Some people go through a ton of breakups. Some people go through very little breakups. It really just depends on the person. But no matter what, it kind of just, you have to expect to move on, or you more have to just try to push yourself forward and go out there more than hope and pray that something's going to resolve itself. Because it's better, because you're setting yourself up for success if you push yourself forward. And if something does happen that resolves the initial problem, that's great. That's even better, because you can get back together with the person. But if that doesn't work out that way, and it might not, it probably won't, you'll have the feeling of moving on. How do I explain this? You'll just feel better. That's really the only way I can explain that, really. I don't think enough people look at breakups in a positive way. And you know what? It doesn't really surprise me, because when you hear because break, that's kind of a negative, not adjective, verb. It's negative verb. English class really helping this one. Anyway, people see it as a negative thing because, of course, you know, when you hear breakups, like, oh, I'm sorry, man, or I'm sorry, girl. Either one. You know, I'm not trying to single anyone out here. It's hard for both people. Okay, even if you go through a breakup and one person breaks up with the other person, it's not necessarily hard. It's not necessarily not hard, I should say, for the person that did the breaking up. Of course, it was hard for them. Okay, because if you're in a relationship with someone and it lasts, obviously something was going right, unless the person had some sort of ulterior motive. But if you have two genuine people and you know that they're genuine, that shouldn't even be a worry. I don't even know why I brought that up. I shouldn't even brought that up, but too late now. Can't really go back. I'm just trying to think of all the possibilities. But again, I can't stress this enough. Breakups happen for a reason. And would you really want to continue being with the person that was causing so much trouble? And maybe you don't even think that they were causing trouble. Maybe it was just the other person. But it's still better for the breakup to happen. Because a relationship, it needs cooperation between both people. That's the whole point of a two-way relationship. And if one person isn't happy, even if the other person is, it's better in the long run if they just break up, because then, you know, maybe both people aren't even happy after the breakup. Of course, they're not going to be, most likely. But again, like I said, you can always move on, but you'll never move on if you don't let yourself move on. Oh my gosh, it's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for the other person if you just keep these feelings, if you don't let yourself go forward. And that's what I guess is really just the big takeaway from this video. You gotta just get over it. I know that can sound harsh to certain people, and I'm not trying to. Again, like I said, I understand it's a hard thing, okay? I understand that. But there's always a chance, it's a guarantee that eventually it'll get better. Okay? And sometimes it takes time, and that's okay. But you need to be willing to let yourself just go forward with your life. Then you can't just hold back, because then you'll never really truly be happy, in my opinion. That's all I have to say about this video. I know I kind of got to the point kind of fast. I think that was actually better for this particular video. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. No guarantees that the next rant video won't be about high school relationships. I feel like I actually have a lot more that I could say about them. So, you know, but there's other rants there's other topics I have for rants. I have ideas for rants in my head. So no promises that the next one will be, but no promises that it won't be, if that makes sense. Until then, you can click right here to see the last rant video, somewhere over here. Or you can click right here to see whatever video I decide to put there. I don't know. It's probably not going to be a rant video. This one will be a rant video. This one won't be. But you can check out whichever one you want. Maybe you hated this video. Maybe you absolutely hated me talking for, looks like 9 minutes straight. Maybe you hated it, but that's okay, because I don't just make these videos, and that's the reason I don't, because I know not everybody likes these. But I hope you did. I hope most of you enjoyed this. I think I'm talking for too long. I'll see you guys later.
What?